Here we have the current stock market update for Alibaba Group Holdings, stock ticker BABA. Before we begin with today's chart analysis, if you find these educational materials to be helpful in your trading, please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons and leave your thoughts below in the comment section so that other traders can find this information more easily on the platform. So as we can see here, this is the daily price chart. Each candle on this time frame represents a 1-day trading period, one full day. And we're going to take a bit of a longer term view here because this stock has been getting quite a bit of attention recently. There has been a lot of stimulus that has been enacted recently by the Chinese government. A lot of this is being done in an effort to sort of repatriate investment money back into China rather than seeing Chinese citizens invest in foreign markets. A lot of that action has been paying off with stocks like NIO and now Alibaba. And as we can see here, the share price has started to move significantly higher over a short period of time. But if we pull out a bit here on the price chart, we can also see that this is a stock that has been in some significant trouble for quite a while. And the real question about this stock is, how investable is this company? We saw prior issues with the CEO, the previous CEO, the founder of the company, Jack Ma, who was removed, really just not allowed to be the CEO anymore after he made some critical comments in relation to the CCP. And he sort of exited the picture, and that does make a lot of investors nervous about, what type of authority the Chinese government has over these companies. How risky are these investments? And that's not just my opinion. I mean, we can look at the actual price action here, and we can see the result of that type of sentiment. So, over the long term here, and this has been going on for years, this stock has been just really trading lower for a long time now. And, we're starting to trade at, fairly depressed levels within a really sideways trading range here. So, at the moment, the real question is whether or not, this is the actual bottom. Like, are we really ready to see a bottom in this stock? Or is this just a short-term price movement that could be reversing here relatively soon? So that's really what we're going to be looking at here. So the first thing that I would suggest here is that this is a lot of upward price movement in a very short period of time. If we look at the daily indicator reading, we have seen share prices move into fairly deep overbought territory. And these readings did sort of move into roughly the mid 80s, almost 85. So that is a very, very overbought reading, a heavily overbought reading. But what we can see is that the overall trend momentum is still focused in the positive direction. So the real question here is, can these share price movements to the top side, can they sustain themselves, or are we ready to see a bit of a retracement lower? So, the first thing that I would do here would be to look at this near-term price high, which comes in right around 117.82. So this is now ultimately the main resistance level because what we have started to see already is some breakage in the Fibonacci support levels. That would be seen if we look at those prior price lows going back to the end of June. This would really be seen right around 71.80, I believe is the low here, yes. So 71.80 is now the low to the downside. And this overall is the main price movement that we're going to be watching. It's really this here. So, at the moment, what we've seen here is that share prices have now broken through that 23.6% Fibonacci retracement, and that does sort of trigger the definition of this current price move as being the dominant trend wave. So, to the downside now, what we would have to first look at would be this 38.2% Fibonacci retracement zone, which currently comes in just above the $100 level. So we can really point to roughly $100.30 as the next key level that I would be watching to the downside. We're not far from there at the moment. We're trading right now at 109.06. And, so the real question at this point is whether or not we bounce off of this 38.2% fib retracement. If we do see a price movement like this, you could start to see share prices retarget those prior highs above 117. But if you do see a break below there, that would then signal a much deeper retracement to the downside. So a lot of these Chinese companies really have been seeing very strong rallies over the past, couple weeks or so. But they're also now starting to reverse quite heavily, and that's the type of momentum that can start to build strongly in the negative direction. So at the moment, I wouldn't really be touching this stock because, as we can also see, there is some price gap activity here. That can be seen on these longer term time frames. And we have to remember this is the daily chart. So, really what we're looking at here is a near term price gap that starts right around 101.90 and then extends all the way to roughly 98.70. So, this is another few dollars in share price movement that could be seen to the downside. And if this area does start to actually generate some negative momentum, which I think that it might, because this didn't occur a very long time ago, and this is a big enough stock where you would expect to see orders that are still parked in this area for this name. If we do see share prices fill this gap, I think that we would also probably lose this support zone at the 38.2% fib retracement level. And then that would also mean that we lose that psychological handle at $100. So I do think that that could start to trigger some panic selling, some people that possibly got into this stock a bit late within this rally. So I'm not necessarily bearish on the stock, but I do think that we're definitely going to be seeing some downside price movements here near term. As a result, I really wouldn't be looking to get into this name probably until roughly 102.50 or so. And the reason that I point to that area in particular is because what we're looking at here. We're looking at several price gaps at the moment. I mean, anybody that's been following Neo, for example, we've seen some very, very erratic price action there, some very volatile price action. Most of it has been in the positive direction, and that's been true for Alibaba as well. But what goes up must come down, as they say. So, there is a lot of downside potential here for the stock at the moment. And we've got two price gaps, and the lower price gap really doesn't fill itself until you get to right around 10, this would be 90, roughly 91.50, is sort of the top of that price gap. So, I wouldn't really be looking to buy this stock until we move into those areas. In those lower 90s, you also have some support that could be generated by this 61.8% Fibonacci retracement, which currently comes in right just below that 90 figure, roughly 89.50. So I do think that this would be the preferable area to start to watch if you are interested in going along this stock. I think there's a lot of optimism about surrounding this name near term, but I would really be holding off here because I think that we could be looking at a sort of a major top and a reacceleration of downside price momentum now that all of that optimism is starting to fade away. So here's the current stock market update for Alibaba Group Holdings, stock ticker BABA. Our high value trading strategies membership is currently available for a limited time for only $9.99 per month. These high conviction investment strategies are characterized by superior risk to reward metrics that target massive market beating returns over time. Join now to outperform the market. Lock in this special introductory rate of just $9.99 per month for the entire lifetime of your membership and start trading stocks with the pros.